मतस्तं शतावृत्ति वन्दे वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षावधिं वा न चान्यं वृणेऽहं वरेशादपीह इदं तेव पुरनाथ गोपालबालम् इदं तेव पुरनाथ गोपालबालम् सदा मे मनस्या विरास्तं किमन्ये सदा मे मनस्या विरास्तं किमन्ये। हरे कृष्णा। सो पवित्र
Hare Krishna. Pious Damodar month is going on, and in this pious month, we all are listening to the Shrimad Bhagvatam Katha, and we are listening to the glories of the Damodar month as well. Do you know, or are you aware that usually Pitru Paksh has ended and then Navratri started, and now the Kartik month is here. But in these days, our ancestors are discussing something in these days. So there is a great discussion that's going on in the planet of the ancestors. And what are they discussing these days? And that is told by none other than Sri Krishna to Arjun himself. Let me present the verse for you for your reference.
कृष्ण कहते हैं कि अर्जुन,
Krishna says that, O Arjuna, Shruyate, you listen. What do you listen? Or what should you listen? I have told you so many things, but now listen to the glories of your ancestors. And what is the Gatha or the pastime or story? So in this Kartik month, all our ancestors in the planet of our ancestors are discussing. And what are they discussing? And in the second line of this verse, it's mentioned, they say that if not today or tomorrow, in the future, in our family, somebody will be there for who would work for our welfare. So he says, is there any problem in the planet of ancestors? He said that we cannot eat properly, there is no facility here. And after that, we have to go to the hellish planets. So before we go there, if somebody in our clan or our family, our son, grandfather, or grandson, or great grandson, anybody should be there who could liberate us. So the other person asked that how are we going to get liberated or delivered? Then in the next verse, Lord Sri Krishna says, Kartike Deep Danena. So if in our clan, our family members with son, daughters, grandsons, etc., if they offer a lamp to the Lord in the month of this Kartik or Damodar, Yastoshati Keshavam. Toshyati means they will satisfy who? Keshavam, that is Lord Shri Krishna. So if our family members lit a lamp in the month of Kartik, then they will be able to satisfy Lord Shri Krishna. And what will happen after that? So, when Krishna will be satisfied, and by that, muktim prapasyame. That means that we will get liberated. So when Lord Shri Krishna will be satisfied, then and happy, then we will be liberated. So the ancestors are thinking that somebody in our family should lit the lamp in the month of Kartik to Lord Damodar, and we will be able to reach the eternal abode of the Lord and attain the unalloyed devotional service towards the Lord. So, lighting the lamp is very beneficial. It not only is beneficial for us, but also for our ancestors. Lord Shri Krishna tells Satyabhama in the next verse,
कार्तिके मासी कुर्वन्ति ते नरा विष्णु मूर्तयः. वो आदमी
so a person
स्वयं भगवान विष्णु के समान पूजनीय बन जाता है.
Becomes as
वो बंदा वो मनुष्य
magnificent as Vishnu. He becomes as respectable as Lord Shri Vishnu if he does these things in the month of Kartik. First is Snanam, that is to take the bath. As we heard earlier, that we should take a bath in early morning and from the water of the holy rivers. And then the second is Jagranam. So we should try to perform more devotional service towards the Lord, Deepam, to lit the lamp towards the Lord. And last but not the least, Tulsi Vanapalanam. That means we should serve Tulsi Maharani, and it is very, very magnificent and benevolent. So today I was reading Padma Puran. So I read a beautiful pastime of Tulsiji's manifestation in Padma Puran, as we heard day before yesterday about Tulsi Devi and Vrinda Devi, and how she manifested. So in the purport of this verse, Padma Puran mentions that when the milk ocean was churned and the 14 gems were acquired, like Ashwat, Eravat, Madhira, Apsaras, and so many other things, so on and so forth. So when all these 14 gems were acquired, then and the elixir manifested, and it was in the hands of Lord Shri Vishnu, and with the elixir in his hands, he was extremely happy, and he became so much overwhelmed that his eyes were filled with tears of happiness and ecstasy. And when they fell on the elixir, and Tulsi Maharani manifested from that. It is mentioned in Padma Puran. So Tulsi is no other than the tears of ecstasy of Lord Sri Vishnu and the elixir. In Padma Puran, it is mentioned in so many verses that how Tulsi Maharani manifested. So Tulsi Maharani manifested along with Lakshmi ji while they churned the milk ocean. And it is said that she was served to Lord, and that is why Tulsi ji and Lakshmi ji are always there to serve Lord Sri Krishna.
विष्णु मूर्तया वो आदमी वो मनुष्य भगवान
So a person becomes as respectable, honorable as Lord Vishnu if he performs all these 4 things during the Kartik month. So next he adds, in the month of Kartik, if somebody offers the lamb, then O Satyabhama, you lit the lamp for me during the month of Kartik, and Tvadehe Grimasthayam Tasma Lakshmi Sthira Bhavat. So the goddess of fortune is constantly residing at your home because you offered the lamp to me in the month of Damodar. So Krishna wants to portray that if someone lights the lamp in the month of Kartik to the Lord, then the goddess of fortune becomes constant in our home. Although Lakshmi ji is not always constant, she keeps on moving. So in Padma Puran, it is further mentioned, Damodar Ashtakam Nama Stotram. So I have already mentioned numerous times that this Damodar Ashtakam is a stotra. It is not a song, it is not a kirtan, it is not a bhajan, it is a stotra. So you might ask, what is the meaning of stotra? So there are some qualities in stotra. The creator of stotra is not someone who is ordinary. So as it is said in this verse, Satyavrat Uditam, that means that Satyavrat Muni compiled. So it is not that he wrote it by his mental concoction or effort, but these stotra are eternal. But as the Lord is eternal, similarly the stotra is eternal. But as Krishna comes as Krishna, the son of Yashoda, or as Ram is the son of Kaushalya, similarly these stotras also manifest by some saint or sage. So it is also a form of the Lord. Don't think that it is an ordinary prayer. So if we worship or we offer the lamp while singing the Damodar Ashtakam, then the Lord becomes attracted towards us. Akarshi means he becomes attracted to us, and the stotra that has been compiled by Satyavrat Muni, but at the same time which is eternal. And if we sing that stotra and we offer the lamb to the Lord Damodar, then Lord Damodar becomes satisfied and happy, and he fills us with benedictions. That is why we offer the lamb twice on the month of Damodar. So let's sing and lit the lamp. So as we do it daily, so now everybody is aware and you all are already ready. So let's sing Damodar Ashtakam and we will proceed towards the Bhagavatam Katha.
जय श्री राधा रमण जय जय नवल किशोर जय गोपी चित चोर प्रभु जय गोपी चित चोर प्रभु जय जय माखन चोर जय जय माखन चोर। श्री कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की, श्री कार्तिक दामोदर मास की। उपस्थित
Hare Krishna. I welcome all the ecstatic devotees of Shrimad Bhagavatam, all the devotees who have gathered here. I also would like to extend my warm welcome to the senior devotees of International Society of Krishna Consciousness, Iskcon, and I extend my warm welcome to all the listeners who have joined in huge numbers through the medium of Facebook, YouTube, etc. All the listeners, and in particular, with so much love and affection, the organizer of this Bhagvatam Katha, the residents of Melbourne, Australia, Sri Nalini Dev Mataji. Let's remember her ancestors, Sri Mahadevji, Srimati Suraj Kuwarji, Michael Harishchandraji. So let's remember them. And in their reverie, this beautiful katha has been organized by Savitri Devi ji, Simran Ratan, Akash Dev, I welcome you all on the 5th day of this Bhagavatam Katha, and please accept our humble obeisances at your lotus feet. Radhe Shyam. So today, under the heading of Sri Glories of Sri Damodar month, we are going to discuss the disappearance of Srila Prabhupada and the deliverance of Gajendra. According to a Puran, it happened, or the deliverance of Gajendra happened in Kartik month. According to Padma and Skand Puran, in this Kartik month, the Gajendra Stuti and to read the pastime of Gajendra is very, very auspicious. So
और शिल प्रभुपाद जी के तिरुभाव के विषय में
let's
संक्षिप्त
listen
में श्रवण करेंगे।
about the deliverance of
जैसे
Gajendra
कि
and disappearance
गजेंद्र
of
के
Srila Prabhupada.
श्रवण करने की महिमा,
So, as I
पाठ
said,
करने
that
की महिमा है।
to
तो
read
ये कथा
the
आपने अनेकों
pastimes of
बार सुनी
Gajendra
होगी, आप सब
is
जानते ही
very
हैं।
beneficial. So, you all
आपके
have
मानस
read
में
and you are aware of it.
गजेंद्र बसा हुआ है।
Gajendra
एकदम
is
प्योर
situated
पाठ
in
करना
your
है।
mind. But today we
पाठ
are
कैसे
going
होता
to
है? माने कथा सुनेंगे,
read. So,
लेकिन
how
श्लोकों
we are
के
going to read?
साथ।
So, we are
श्लोकों
going
का सहारा लेकर उनका
to
आस्वादन
listen
करते हुए,
to the Bhagavatam, but
उनमें से कुछ सारगर्भित
by
बातों
reading
को
the
समझते
verses
हुए
and by
ये जो आज
understanding
की कथा हम सब सुनेंगे। वैसे
in
ये कथा
detail.
7 दिन, 10 दिन,
So
20 दिन हो
usually
सकती है,
this katha
लेकिन
can be
संक्षिप्त में जितना
performed
हो सके हम
for
श्रवण करेंगे।
7, 10, even 20 days,
तो आप सब
but
तैयार
we
हैं?
will listen in,
एक्चुअली सुखदेव गोस्वामी ये कथा एक
we
श्लोक
we
में
will
सुनाते
listen
हैं,
to it
एक दिन में
according
आधे
to
श्लोक
the
में।
time principle here.
और सुखदेव जी तो बिल्कुल स्पीड पकड़ लिए थे और
So
तेज गति से
Shukdev
कथा
ji
चल रही थी।
was in full speed and
तो
the
एक श्लोक में कह
katha
दिया
was
कि
flowing,
चाक्षुष मनवंतर में
and he
हरि के द्वारा
told in
गजेंद्र
one
को क्या
verse
हुआ,
that by
श्री गजेंद्र
her
मोक्ष
Lord
में
Hari
गए।
Gajendra,
चलो
a
आगे।
elephant was
परीक्षित महाराज ने कहा
delivered,
रुको 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 सुखदेव
and
जी,
he proceeded further. But
ये
Parikshit ji
गजेंद्र
told
मोक्ष
him
वाली
that
कथा को थोड़ी विस्तार से सुनाओ।
I want to listen
अच्छा महाराज
about
परीक्षित ने
this
कैसे
in
पूछा,
detail.
क्या स्टाइल
And
थी?
how did he
श्री
ask?
राजो उवाच
Shri Rajo Uvacha.
बादरायण ये तत्ते श्रोतुमिच्छामहे वयम् हरिर् यथा गजपतिम् हरिर् यथा गजपतिम् ग्राहग्रस्तममूर्मुचत् ग्राहग्रस्तममूर्मुचत्। महाराज परीक्षित की जिज्ञासा है ये।
Maharaj Parikshit had this inquisitiveness to listen about the deliverance of Gajendra
कैसे कहते हैं?
in detail, and how he said it, Badarayana.
सुखदेव गोस्वामी का नाम
So
है।
Shukdev Goswami is also addressed as
अब सुखदेव
Badarayan.
गोस्वामी को बादरायण क्यों कहते हैं?
So why is he called or addressed as Badarayan?
सुखदेव जी को संबोधन देते हैं बादरायण, हे बादरायण। तो बादरायण सुखदेव जी का नाम क्यों पड़ा?
So why is he called Badarayan?
एक्चुअली वेदव्यास मुनि का नाम है।
Actually, Vedvyas Muni's name,
क्योंकि वे बदर बेर के वृक्ष के नीचे बैठकर तपस्या किए,
as
इसलिए उनका नाम
he
हुआ
performed
बदरायण।
austerity under the tree of berries of in
बदर
bear,
के वृक्ष के
and
नीचे अयन किया,
that
मतलब रहे।
is why
व्यास जी का एक
he
नाम है
is called
अयन।
Badarayan,
ओके,
because he resided. Ayan means to reside, and Badra means the tree of
तपस्या
or
का द्योतक है।
berries.
मतलब
So that is why he is addressed as Badarayan. Badarayan.
लेकिन व्यास जी के
But
वक्तव्य को, उनके ज्ञान को यदि प्रस्तुत करना
if
हो
we have
तो
to present
कहेंगे,
his,
वेदों का व्यास करने वाले।
if we have to
बदर अयन
introduce
माने
him
तपस्या करने
as a
वाले।
writer of Vedas,
तो
then we
इसलिए
will call him
द्वैपायन
Vedvyas.
के जन्म
But
के
if
विषय
we
में
want
कुछ
to
स्मरण
discuss
करना
about
हो
his
तो
austerity, then
कृष्ण
we will
द्वैपायन
talk about
कृष्णा के तट पर जन्म हुआ, तो ये व्यास जी के नाम है।
Badarayan.
तो
And
बदर
if we
वृक्ष
have
के नीचे
to
अयन करने के कारण व्यास जी का नाम हुआ
discuss about his
बदर
birth,
अयन।
then we will
और उस बदर अयन के पुत्र होने के
call
कारण
him
नाम हुआ
Krishna
बादरायण।
Dvipayana.
जैसे वसुदेव के पुत्र का नाम
As
हुआ
Vasudev's son is addressed as Vasudev. Similarly, Badrayan's son is addressed as Badarayan. So you understood? So he is addressed as, oh, Badarayan. So he is addressing to present the austerity of Shukdev Maharaj here. And he says that Shrotum Ichhamahe. That means that he wants to listen in detail. So if Shukdev ji asks who wants to listen, so Parikshit never said that I want to listen. Etate Shrotum, that we want to listen. Ichha means desire, that to listen this pastime. So first of all, we should understand that if we meet a sage or saint, then we should have a desire to listen from him. So first and foremost point to learn here is that we should have this inquisitiveness to ask or to listen to him. So sometimes we take the shelter of a sage, and then rather than listening to them, we try to speak about our worries, distresses, or our glories. So the time of a sage is very, very important. So if you want to make it useful, then we should listen to him more and more, because he can support us just by giving his counsel. So if you think, so the power or potency of a sage is his speech. And that is why whenever we get up early in the morning, what do we say or recite? I have no hope. Srila Narottam Das writes that I have no other hope, but only hope is that the words of the spiritual master, and they will pacify my heart and will make my heart blissful. So if the words of a spiritual master has a potency to purify our heart, then what distress can touch us of this material world? So he says that we have a desire to listen from you. In Bhagvat Gita, in the beginning of Bhagvat Gita, when Arjuna sees the battle, at the battlefield of Kurukshetra, when Arjuna saw the army of his enemies and he got confused and overwhelmed with emotion, he gave the control to Lord Sri Krishna, that I will be your disciple. So he said that I am here. Krishna reminded, you are my friend. But he said, no, now from now onwards, you are my spiritual master. So Arjun could have said that now that you are spiritual master, so now you can attack with your discus all the enemies. But what did Arjun said? He says that whatever is good for the welfare of my soul, please tell me and I will listen to the same. You, Krishna, are capable of doing everything, but I don't want you to do anything, but I just want to listen from you. So the sages, saints, we should have this expectation that they speak and we listen. Maharaj Parikshit says, "O Badarayan, Shrotum Ichchamahi." We have a desire to listen. So, who wants to listen? He says Vayam, that is, we all want to listen. So, actually, Parikshit wants to listen, but he doesn't say that he doesn't take his name alone, but he says that we all want to listen. So what does it imply? Whenever we are to listen from a sage or saint, then we should try that more and more people are able to listen to his speech, because the food, grains, and the speech of a sage is very important. And the more and more people are able to listen to the same is very beneficial. So sometimes people have a question. So Nalini Mataji says that all our hosts, that you all come, you two come to our home and do the passing, but they present their making benevolence. They say that if we do it at home, then only 10, 20 people will listen. But if we listen in this international platform, then lakhs of people can listen and get benefit from the same. So many people are listening to this Bhagavatam. So here, Parikshit Maharaj is using this word Vayam. So I want to add one thing for the, if you want, if you listen, if you sit at the lotus feet of a sage and listen alone or in seclusion, or if you listen with people, then there is a huge difference. So if you perform Sankirtan alone, then although it is glorious, but it is incomparable to the Sankirtan that is performed in the temple. So association has a great glory. And if you're not able to understand this, have you said you might be watching cricket? If it's a bit match between Pakistan and India, then we should. So when we watch a match, if we see alone, is not that much enjoyable. But if so many people watch together, then then it is more enjoyable. Then they comment on that maybe he has taken a bribe, and that's why he's not playing properly. So when we sit in group, the enjoyment is manifold. So when in this material universe, the thing of material universe has a feeling of enjoyment when we sit together. But what about this? The spiritual association in sitting in group, and so that bliss and ecstasy is something different. So in the first verse of Shrimad Bhagavatam, even Vedvyas Muni has written this or recited the same thing.
सत्यम परम धीमहि। तो यहाँ पर व्यास मुनि बहुवचन का इस्तेमाल करते हैं।
Vyas Muni is using the plural form Dhimahi. That means that we all are meditating on the Lord. And even in Bhagavata Mahatmya also it is said,
वहां पर भी वयम शब्द आया।
So there also this word Vayam is used, hum sab, that means we all. So in essence, if we want to perform Sankirtan or to listen to the Bhagavatam Katha, and when we have an association of devotees, then the enjoyment becomes manifold. So he says that we all want to listen from you. So if Shukdevji asks that, what do you want to listen? Then he says that Hari Artha means Yatha Hari, that the way Lord Hari, Gajpatim, that is the king of the elephants. Gaj means elephant, Pati means the king. So, Graha Grasta Amo Muchat. So, the king of elephant Gajendra, who was entangled in the mouth of the crocodile, that is Gaja Graha, how he was delivered by Lord Hari. That is what we want to listen. So we all know that if we listen to the pastime of Gajendra, then even we will get rid of the repeated cycle of birth and death and get liberated. So Parikshit Maharaj adds further, he says that the pastime is mahat, that is very important and glorious, and it provides so much austerity, dhanyam, it provides opulence and wealth or fame, swastayanam, it is very auspicious, shubham, and glorious. And which pastime? So he says, yatra, wherever, uttama shlok. So in all the pastimes where Krishna is mentioned, those pastimes are important, glorious, auspicious, opulent. So how many adjectives have been told about the pastimes of the pastime of the Lord? So many. So it so happens that there's so many lectures and seminars, etc. And there's some point of motivation, etc., which is good. But if there is no discussion about Krishna, then it is a soulless discussion. So when or wherever Lord Shri Krishna or Vishnu is discussed or his glories are sung, those kathas are or pastimes are glorious. So now Shukdev Goswami starts sharing the pastime. Shri Shuk Uvacha
Asid Girivaro Rajan Trikuta iti Vishruta Shiro Denavritah Shriman Shiro Denavritah Shriman Yojana Mut Yojana Yutamuchrita Yojana Mutauchrita. सुखदेव जी कहते हैं कि आसीत गिरिवर.
Shukdev ji says, O king,
आसीत गिरिवरो स्वर्ग की बात कर रहा है कि बोले स्वर्ग में.
So he's talking about the heavenly planet. Asid means it was present. So yesterday we listened about the pastimes of Giriraj, and now we're talking about the pastimes of Girivar. So the highest mountain or the greatest mountain is Girivar, and it is called Trikuta iti Vishruta. which is famous. Vishruta means famous and iti means that. So this mountain was famous as Trikut. And why it was called Trikut? Because it had three cliffs. It is also said that the cliff was like shining like silver, one like gold and other like a gem. So this mountain was surrounded by the Shir Sagar or the milk ocean, and it was filled with opulence as it was surrounded by the sea, and sea's wealth is all the gems and precious stones. The sea used to leave its gems, etc., in the foothills of this mountain. And how big it was? It was 10,000 yojanas high. Imagine how large it might have been. So 1 yojan is around 2.5 kilometers. So imagine 10,000 yojan, that means 25,000 kilometer high was this mountain. And there was a beautiful garden, that is Upvan, and all the 6 Vedas used to blossom in this garden at the same time. And there were so many beautiful flowers and fragrant flowers and fruits. And once upon a time, Tatra Ekada, so it so happened there, Kanan, that means the forest. On the mountain. So Karenubhir means with female elephants. The king of the elephants, Gajendra, started to roam. So there was a beautiful garden, and he was roaming with thousands of his wives. And how was he roaming there? So Kantaka Kichaka. So he was uprooting the bamboos which had thorns. So when he was walking, he will not change his path if he saw a tree or a bamboo. He will not cross or change his path, but he will uproot them. So he was so powerful. That is what Shukdevji is describing here. Vishal Gulmam. So the vegetation, plants, etc., were destroyed and uprooted while he was walking. So if there is a deep forest and if Gajendra passes, then the land becomes a highway. They don't require a bulldozer to clear the path. And telling the glories of Gajendra, Shukdevji recites further. So when he was there with thousands of his wives and children, and when he started, his fragrance reached to all the ferocious animals, like lions. They went in the caves. that the Gajendra is coming, so we should run and save our life. So he was such a great elephant that Shukdevji says that even the lions of the forest were scared of him. And not only by not by Gajendra, but by just his fragrance itself. And he's giving the list. Not only the lion, but also Vyadra Adayo, Vyalmriga. So tigers, lions used to hide in their caves. Vyalmriga. So big deers and ferocious animals. And Mahoraga means poisonous snakes. And all the ferocious animals who kill each other. So such violent animals, when they just realized that he was around by his fragrance, so they used to run. But the innocent animals were not worried with him. They were independent and they used to roam, that if Gajendra is there, so we are safe. So what does Shukdevji says in this verse? Vrika Varaha. So the pigs and bears, monkeys, Gopuche means langur, and dogs, monkeys, etc. So all these small animals like rabbits, deers, Abhitaya. So these small animals, so they used to roam fearlessly. Why? Just by the mercy of Gajendra. So the rabbit had no fear or worry that because he is around, so no ferocious animal is going to kill us. So I just got a thought. I want to share it with you for the first time. So let's understand to the verse. So all these small innocent animals, Charanti Abhita, Charant Bhita. So they used to roam fearlessly. Why? Yat Anugrahin. That means by the mercy of Gajendra. So I just that Gajendra gave shelter to at least some people in his life. So he had performed some piety and charity for others. So he has protected. So if we perform some charitable work or we take care of someone, it helps us when we are about to leave this body or when we are in great distress, that when we will have no one to protect us, then whatever good work we have done for others will work for us at this time of distress. And that is what happened with Gajendra. Although Gajendra was not doing all this activity, in keeping this in mind, but he was doing it so that these are not distressed. And now Gajendra was walking with thousands of wives and husbands in a great speed or velocity, making the earth shiver. And Shukdev ji recites that time it was the summer time and it was due to the heat. So in Sanskrit it's called Gham. Even in Gujarati it is also called Gham in the local language. or colloquial language.
घर्म तप्त, स माने गजेंद्र, घर्म माने घाम, घाम माने गर्मी, और
So the
गर्मी के
heat
कारण तप्त हो चुका था.
of the summer,
कुछ
and
गुजराती
because of
हिंदी
that
मराठी
he
ये भारत की भाषाओं
had
के कुछ शब्द जो है ना सीधे
become
संस्कृत
hot.
से लिए गए हैं.
So some of the words for
इसलिए ये भारत की
Hindi,
जो
Gujarati,
भाषाएं हैं
Marathi,
ये
etc.
सब
are taken
सबकी
from Sanskrit.
सहोदर बहन है.
And that is why
और ये
these
घाम शब्द तो हम
languages are
बूढ़े लोगों से
sisters to each
सुनते
other.
थे कि घाम होता है. हम तो गर्मी बोलते हैं ना, गर्मी में तो
So we
बहुत hot
usually
है.
speak
लेकिन घर्म तप्त,
hot or
तो
garmi,
गजेंद्र घाम के कारण,
but in Sanskrit it is
गर्मी के
called gham.
कारण तपा हुआ
So
था.
due to the heat, he
और
was
करी भी करेणु
feeling
भी.
hot,
गजेंद्र की पत्नियां भी बहुत तप रही थी.
Karenu bhi, and his wives were
पंखा
also
नहीं था
feeling
उसके पास, नहीं तो बेचारी ऐसे पंखा डालती.
hot, and they didn't
लेकिन
have
विष्णु
any
की गर्दन
fan,
पे त्रिकुट
etc.
पर्वत था.
And
और
as
वो
it was
पर्वत
the
सोने की तरह
Trikut
चमकता था,
mountain,
सूर्य
which
की
was
किरणें सीधे
shone
निकलता
like
और उसका
gold,
रिफ्लेक्शन
and
था
the
उस पर.
sun was
तो बहुत
hot
घाम,
or
बहुत
near,
तप्त हो रहा था.
and because of that reflection,
और उस
it
घाम के
became
कारण
very
गजेंद्र
hot,
के शरीर से
and because
पसीना
of
निकल
that,
रहा था.
Gajendra
अब आप ऐसा
was
इमेजिन
sweating.
कीजिए,
So
गजेंद्र
just
बीच में है,
imagine
हजारों
that
पत्नियां
Gajendra
हैं बीच
is
में, उसके बच्चे
in
पीछे हैं,
center, and
और
he
तेज
has
गति
his
से
wives
दौड़ते
and
दौड़ते रौंदते हुए
children.
वृक्षों को उखाड़ते हुए
He
जा
is
रहे हैं.
running,
और
uprooting
गर्मी
all
हो
the
रही
trees
है
and
और
plantation, and
गजेंद्र
there
को
is so much
पसीना
heat,
हो रहा है.
and he
और
is
सुखदेव जी
sweating.
श्लोक में कहते हैं कि
And Shukdev
गजेंद्र
ji
के
writes,
पसीने से सुगंध आ रही है,
he says that
और
by
उस
his
सुगंध
sweat
को
there
लेने
is a
के लिए
fragrance,
भंवरे उनके पास मंडरा रहे हैं.
and the
भंवरे गजेंद्र
honeybees
के मुख के पास भन 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 कर
are
रहे हैं.
roaming
भंवरे
around
गजेंद्र
him.
की एक सुंदर सी शोभा का वर्णन
So
कर रहे हैं.
he is describing the
तो अब
beauty of
पति
Gajendra.
बच्चों के साथ जा रहा था, प्यास लगी
So he felt
तो खोजने लगा
hot
कहीं
and
से
he
कोई जलाशय
was
पानी मिल
thirsty.
जाए.
So he started to look around for some
तो वहां
water.
पर उस उपवन में एक बहुत सुंदर
And
सरोवर का
in that
दृश्य
garden,
हुआ.
he saw a beautiful
गजेंद्र और
lake,
उनकी पत्नी बच्चों को शांति हुई,
and they were
और उस
relieved
सरोवर को
by seeing
देखकर
that.
गजेंद्र पत्नी और बच्चों
And
को बाहर ही रखा और अकेला
Gajendra
गजेंद्र
went
उस
inside
सरोवर में
alone.
अंदर नीचे उतरा. आइए सुखदेव गोस्वामी क्या
So
कहते हैं.
what does
सुखदेव
Shukdev
गोस्वामी
Goswami
कहते
says?
हैं कि
He says,
सपुष्करेणोद
Sa
उदभ्रत्कसी
Pushkarenod.
गजेंद्र स गजेंद्र
Gajendra,
उस
that is Sa denotes
सरोवर में उतरकर
Gajendra.
पुष्करेण,
He
पुष्करेण माने सूंड, पुष्करेण
he went
गजेंद्र अपनी
inside the
सूंड
lake,
से
and with his
उद्दधिक
trunk
सीकर अंबु भी अपनी सूंड से पानी को उठाकर
he started
उस पानी
filling
को
the
सीकर का
water,
फुवारा बनाकर फेंकता था.
and he
बहुत सुंदर
started
शोर गजेंद्र के पास.
showering this
गजेंद्र
water.
हाथी को द्विज कहते हैं.
So the elephant is also called
हाथी
Dvij
दो बार पानी पीता है, एक तो सूंड
because
में
it
पीता है और फिर मुंह में
drinks
लेता है.
twice.
मतलब दो
First
बार वो
he
प्रोसेस दो बार होती है.
fills it in his
तो
trunk, and then
गजेंद्र
he drinks
अपनी
from his mouth.
पुष्करेण अपनी
So
सूंड में
he
जल
requires
भरकर और
2
द्विज की
processes to
तरह
drink
उड़ा रहा
water.
था.
That is why he is
और उनके
called Dvija.
बच्चों को, उनकी
So
पत्नी
he
को
was
बड़ा आनंद
showering
मिल
this
रहा था.
water, and his wives
तो
and
गजेंद्र ने अपने बच्चों को
his
जल
children
पिलाया,
were enjoying.
अपनी
So they all
पत्नियों को जल
drank
पिलाया. एक शब्द यहाँ
to
पर
their
आप
heart fill.
पकड़िएगा.
So there is one
सुखदेव
word here.
गोस्वामी कहते हैं कि ये हाथी
Shukdev ji
की
says
कथा
that
नहीं है,
this is not the
ये
pastime
यहाँ
of an
जितने भी
elephant.
भक्त हैं
It is the
नाम भी
pastime
पढ़
of,
सकते हैं, ये इन सब की कथा है.
it is the pastime all of those who are
हाथी की कथा
sitting
नहीं
here.
है. क्यों? श्लोक में आप देख
Why?
सकते हैं.
You can see
पहली
in
लाइन
this
पढ़िए.
verse. So read the first line.
सपुष्करेणोद
Sa
धृतशी
Pushkareno
कराम्बुधि
Tritashi Kurambudhi.
निपातयस्नपन अन्यथा ग्रही यथा
Yatha
गृही.
Grihi.
पहली लाइन का अंतिम शब्द क्या है?
So the last word of
यथा
this first line
गृही.
is
ये
Yatha
गजेंद्र काम
Grihi.
कैसा कर रहा है?
So what is
यथा
he doing?
गृही, जैसे
Yatha
हम सब
Grihi.
लोग काम करते हैं.
So he is working
यथा
like
गृही.
a householder.
मतलब ये
Grihi.
केवल गजेंद्र की कथा नहीं,
So this is
हम
not
सब
just the
गृहस्थों
pastime
की
of
व्यथा
Gajendra,
है.
but it is the
हम लोग भी
distress of
अपने
all
बच्चों के साथ
us
घूमने फिरने
householders.
जाते हैं.
We also
गर्मी
go out
होती है,
with
खास
our
करके भारत में
wife
ट्रेन में
and
जाते
kids,
हैं.
and
जब कोई स्टेशन आता है तो पत्नी
we
बच्चों को
go
ट्रेन में ही रखते हैं, हम नीचे
and
उतरते हैं.
when
वैसे
we are
गजेंद्र ने
traveling in
पत्नी
the
बच्चों को
train,
बाहर रखा, स्वयं
we
सरोवर में
keep the
नीचे उतरा.
children and
यथा
wife in the
गृही.
train, and we get
सुखदेव जी
down
का
to get the
मिलान
water.
कितना सुंदर है, हैं? मतलब गृहस्थों की तरह
So this is the life of a householder.
सेवा के लिए नीचे उतरा.
So he got down to serve his
ध्रुवी
family.
करेणु करभाष्य दुर्मदो नाचष्ट कृच्छम कृपणो अजमायया. बहुत अच्छा था. गजेंद्र की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी थी.
So it was his responsibility to take care of his wife and children. To give them food and water is his responsibility. But while performing our responsibility, we should not get attached to our responsibility. We should be mindful of the same. So we all have to fulfill our responsibility, and there is nothing wrong in that. We don't deny that fact, but sometimes it so happens that we attach ourselves, and that is what happened with Gajendra here. So when he reached the lake, he could have just drank the water, satisfied his wife and children. They could have left, but no, they started playing with the water. So even that was okay, but now they are overindulging, and now he is getting attached. So we all householders should check that whatever dealing I'm doing with my husband, my spouse and children, is it my responsibility or is it my attachment? So we should be very careful of the same. So this responsibility is not the reason for our entanglement, but attached definitely is a reason for entanglement. Our responsibility is not entangling, but to get attached is a reason for our entanglement. Had he just satisfied his wife and children, and they would have just enjoyed a little and left, but Gajendra, like us, became attached. And Shukdev Goswami recites, Gajendra became so much careless and attached in his wife and children that he could see the death that was hovering over his head. So Aj means the Lord, and Maya means the external potency of the Lord. Maya. So what happened? Okay. By the mercy of some demigod, so maybe by his fortune or misfortune, when he was playing with his children and wives, he was roaming in the water that in such a speed that the water started to have velocity in it. And there was a crocodile which used to reside in this lake, and that crocodile became very upset and angry, and he grabbed the leg of Gajendra. But still, Gajendra is playing. So, the point when we are little sick, we don't even realize. But when the crocodile increased his temper and tried to hold him powerfully, so he said that something is wrong, and then he went to the hospital and got the report, and he realized that he has cancer. So Gajendra realized that there is some problem, and when he saw, he realized that the crocodile has grabbed him by his leg.
गजेंद्र इस प्रकार से अकस्मात
So
एक्सीडेंटल विपत्ति में फंस गया.
Gajendra was
यथा
trapped in
बलम
this
सोच बलो
accidental
चक्र में.
problem,
और उस समय गजेंद्र यथा बलम, गजेंद्र के पास जितना भी बल था
and
सारा बल
whatever
उस ग्रह से मुक्त
power
होने
he
के लिए
had,
लगा दिया.
he used to get free
लेकिन ग्रह तो
from
अपने
the
वश में थोड़ी था.
clutches
वो
of
ग्रह
the
तो
crocodile.
धनुर्धान बिल्कुल ऐसा पकड़ कर रखा,
But
गजेंद्र
the
कुछ
crocodile
नहीं
was
कर पा
not
रहा
there
था.
to give it up
जब गजेंद्र
so
अपनी
easily.
शक्ति से उस ग्रह से छूट नहीं पाया,
So when
तब
he
सुखदेव जी अगले श्लोक
was
में कहते हैं
unable to
यथा
get
आतुरम
freed
युथपतिम.
from the clutches of the
तब
crocodile
गजेंद्र की
alone
फैमिली के लोगों को पता
on
चला.
his merit, then
गजेंद्र का भाई तो
the
होगा,
family
दो तीन भाई थे,
members
चाचा मामा ताऊ जितने भी थे सब लोग आए.
also
कहते हैं
came.
यथा आतुरम युथपतिम, उस गजेंद्र
The
के
Aturam Yutpatim.
सगे वाले आए.
So all the relatives of
और सब
Gajendra
लोगों ने
came
गजेंद्र
and
को
gathered,
पकड़ा
and they
और
got
चेन
hold of
बनाई
Gajendra.
और
They
गजेंद्र को अंदर से
made
खींचने
a
का
chain
प्रयास किया.
to drag Gajendra out.
विकृष्यमाणांतरसा बलीयसा, विकृष्यमाणा खींचने का बड़ा प्रयास किया.
Vikrishyamana means they tried very hard.
गजेंद्र की पत्नियों ने सोचा यार हम
So
लोग भी जुट जाते हैं.
his wife said that
गजेंद्र की
we
पत्नियां
also
भी जुट गई.
should
सब लोग एक दूसरे
give
को
a hand.
पकड़कर
So
गजेंद्र को
they
अंदर से
also
खींचने का
tried
प्रयास
to
किया.
help Gajendra,
लेकिन
but
न च अशकन.
na cha
सुखदेव जी
ashak.
कहते हैं कि सब
Shukdev ji
लोग
says that
मिलकर भी
although they all
गजेंद्र को
tried
वहां से
hard,
नहीं खींच पाए,
but they
नहीं
could
निकाल
not
पाए.
free Gajendra.
सुखदेव जी बड़े दुख के साथ कहते हैं कि
So with
नियुद्ध
so much
कोरे
sorrow, Shukdev ji announces,
नियुष्यतो एवं गजेंद्र नक्रयो विकर्षतो अंतरत बहिमिथ. युद्ध करते हुए गजेंद्र
so
और
while
का युद्ध करते
fighting,
करते वो ग्राह गजेंद्र
the
को बीच
crocodile and
सरोवर में लेकर गया.
elephant were fighting, and this crocodile
कभी गजेंद्र थोड़ा सा बाहर आ
dragged
जाता,
him to the center of
लेकिन
the
ग्राह
lake.
उसे
Although
खींचकर अंदर ले जाता, कभी अंदर कभी
Gajendra was
बाहर.
trying hard to come out,
अंतरत
so
बहिर्मिथ,
there was
कभी
a
अंदर कभी बाहर,
battle
आगे पीछे
of
होता था, लेकिन छोड़ नहीं रहा था ग्राह. और इस प्रकार युद्ध करते
forces,
करते समा सहस्त्रम 1000 वर्ष
and
बीत गए.
thus 1,000 years elapsed.
समा सहस्त्रम व्यगमन महीपते, हे राजन 1000 वर्ष बीत
In this
गए.
combat,
और सप्राण
1,000 years elapsed,
तामराह. और इस ग्राह और गजेंद्र को युद्ध को देखने के लिए
and to
देवता
see
आकाश
their
में आ गए और देवता भी आश्चर्य रह गए.
fight, demigods came and they all also were amazed.
सुखदेव जी कहते हैं आगे,
Shukdev ji
ततो गजेंद्र
says,
से मनो बलो जसाम कालेन दीर्घेण महा अभूत व्ययः. इस प्रकार युद्ध करते
in
करते
this
जब
manner,
बहुत समय बीत
when
गया,
so much time
तो
elapsed,
गजेंद्र का बल कम हो गया
so
और उस ग्राह का
the
बल बढ़ गया.
Gajendra's
कारण
energy
यही
was
था
dwindling
कि
and
गजेंद्र
the
पृथ्वी का अंग
crocodile's
है
energy was
और ग्राह
increasing,
जल का आदमी
because
है.
crocodile
गजेंद्र अपनी
belongs to
गली में नहीं
water
था,
while
दूसरे के घर में
elephant
फंसा था.
belongs to the
और
land.
ग्राह अपनी
He
अपनी
was
गली
not
में
in
कितना
his
भी
own
शेर होता.
home, but he has entered someone's
तो
home.
विकृष्यमाणस्य
So that is
जले
why
वसीदतो
the crocodile was more
विपर्ययो
powerful,
सकलम जलो कसः.
because he was in his own known terrain.
गजेंद्र का बल घटते गया
So the
और
potency of
विपर्यो, उससे
Gajendra
बिल्कुल
started
विपरीत वो ग्राह
diminishing,
जो था उसका बल बढ़ते गया.
and the crocodile started
और इस
becoming more
प्रकार
and more
से वो
powerful.
ग्राह
And in
गजेंद्र
this
को
manner,
खींचते खींचते
he dragged
बीच सरोवर
the
में.
Gajendra and
सुखदेव जी
brought it
कहते
in the
हैं
midst of the
इत्थम
lake.
गजेंद्र स यदा
And
प्रसंकट.
Shukdev ji recites,
गजेंद्र इस
Itham
प्रकार से
Gajendra
भयंकर संकट में फंस गया.
the Yadapa Sankat. So
प्राणस्य
he was surrounded
विवशो
by
यदिच्छया.
great trouble
गजेंद्र के प्राण
in this
विवश
manner.
होने लगे. अब तो बड़ा कष्ट
And
होने लगा.
now he was feeling
अपार यन
so
आत्म
much pain
विमोचने
and distress.
क्षणम. और फिर गजेंद्र ने अपने
And
मन में विचार किया
then he thought
कि मुझे
in his
बचाने में
mind
कोई
that
सक्षम नहीं है.
nobody
अब मुझे
is
कोई
able
बचा
to
नहीं
save
सकता.
me now. Nobody can
गजेंद्र ने
save me
अपनी
now.
बुद्धि में
So when
विद्या विमाम बुद्धिम यथा पपद्यत, अपनी बुद्धि में एक
he
निर्णय किया,
contemplated in his mind,
एक
then
डिसीजन
he
लिया.
took a decision
गजेंद्र क्या डिसीजन ले रहे हैं?
And what was that decision
नमाम
that he
इमे
took?
ज्ञातय आतुरम गजा, ये बड़े बड़े गज
So
मेरी जाति
these
के बड़े
big
बड़े हाथी
elephants
जब मुझे नहीं बचा
who
पाए
are from my clan are not able to
तो
save
कुतः
me.
करिण्य प्रभवन्ति मोचितुम, तो ये बेचारी मेरी पत्नी मुझे
So
कैसे बचा
what?
सकती है?
How my
ये मेरे
wives
छोटे छोटे
are
बच्चे
going
मुझे
to
कैसे
save
बचा
me?
सकते हैं?
How my children who are so young
न माम
will be able to save me?
ज्ञातयः, मेरे ज्ञाति वाले लोग, मेरे समाज
So
वाले लोग मुझे
the
नहीं बचा
people
पाए।
of my clan
देखिए
were
इससे हमें बहुत बड़ी सीख
unable to
मिलती है।
save
आदमी
me.
अपना
So
पूरा
there is
जीवन
a
समाज में
great
बिता देता है, मेरा
teaching for
समाज
us.
ऐसा, मेरा समाज
So
ऐसा, मुझे
people
समाज में उठना है,
spend
बैठना
their
है।
entire
लेकिन जब हम
life
मौत के
for
मुख में
their
फंसेंगे,
society,
ये समाज
etc.
हमको बचा नहीं
But
पाएगा।
when we are
गजेंद्र इस
about to
डिसीजन पर
leave
पहुंचा,
our body,
न माम इमे
the
ज्ञातय,
society is
पूरा
not going to
समाज मुझे
help
नहीं
us. They
बचा
won't be able
पाया।
to help us.
और कुतः करिए, जब समाज इतने बड़े
And
बड़े
when
डॉक्टर, इतने बड़े बड़े
great
विद्वान, इतने बड़े
doctors,
बड़े बलवान लोग जब मुझे नहीं
intellectuals,
बचा
and
पाए,
powerful people
तो कुतः
are not able to
करिए,
save
तो मेरी
me,
बेचारी पत्नियां मुझे
then
कैसे बचा सकती
how
हैं?
my wives will be able to save me?
बहुत बड़ा सिद्धांत यहाँ पर
So
प्रस्तुत
there
हो
is
रहा
a
है
great philosophical point that is presented
कि
here,
हम जब मृत्यु के मुख में फंसेंगे,
that when we
इस
are
दुनिया
trapped
का कोई
in
आदमी हमें
the
बचा नहीं
claws
सकता।
of death, then nobody in this
गोविंददास जी
material
कहते
world
हैं कि
can save
पूरा
us.
जीवन हम पत्नी, पति,
So
बच्चे और
we
समाज
spend
की सेवा
our
में बिता देते हैं।
entire life
पूरा
to
जीवन
serve
उसी
the
के आगे पीछे
society,
हम लगे रहते हैं।
our
बच्चों की
spouses and
सेवा,
children,
पत्नी की,
etc.
पति की सेवा करनी चाहिए,
We
जितनी
should
जिम्मेवारी हो उतना तो
serve
करना ही
them.
चाहिए,
We should take
लेकिन बस उसी में
and
लगे
fulfill the
रहने से काम
responsibility that
नहीं
we have.
बनेगा।
But just fulfilling those responsibilities is not enough.
कितना भी धन हो इस दुनिया
No
में,
matter
बड़े
how
बड़े
much
लोग,
wealth or
क्या
opulence you
उनके पास
have,
धन की कमी रही होगी?
so many wealthy people had any
हमारे भारत
dearth
रत्न,
of
हाँ, जिनके
opulence.
पास दुनिया में सबसे अधिक संपत्ति धीरूभाई हैं,
So
क्या उन्होंने प्रयास नहीं
Dhirubhai
किया होगा
Ambani had
कि और
not
एक
he
साल
tried
ज्यादा जी जाए?
that he could live
क्या उन्होंने
one
अपनी
more
पूरी
year more?
ताकत, बड़े बड़े डॉक्टर, हमारे
Had
यहाँ
he not
अमेरिका में
consulted
माइकल
with
जैक्सन
great
के विषय
doctors?
में कहते हैं,
And it is
150
said
डॉक्टर
about
को
Michael
अपने
Jackson
साथ रखता था,
that he had 150 doctors
हर
appointed,
आधे घंटे में चेकअप होता
and
था।
every half an hour he used to
और
get
डॉक्टरों ने कहा था
a
कि
checkup.
150 साल तक तो
And they said
जिएगा,
that
लेकिन
they have
50
told
में
that
मर
he will
गया।
live for
150
150 years,
डॉक्टर उसके
but
सिर
he
पे
died at
खड़े
the age
खड़े
of
रह गए,
150.
पूरा
So
समाज
all
दरवाजे
these
पे खड़ा
150
रह गया,
doctors were
करोड़ों
standing on
की
his head, and
संपत्ति
yet
धरी की
he
धरी रह गई
lost his
और
life.
जिंदा चला गया।
And he had so much wealth, yet he had to leave
मृत्यु
his
जो
body.
है,
So the death
मृत्यु के मुख से हम, चाहे दुनिया में हम किसी की भी सेवा करें,
is
मौत से नहीं
eternal,
बचा सकते।
and nobody can save us from the same.
मृत्यु से हमें बचा सकते हैं तो एकमात्र भगवान,
So only person who can save us from the clutches of death
और ये
is
बुद्धि इस
the
हाथी में
Supreme
है,
Personality of Godhead,
लेकिन
and
आदमी
this
में आज तक नहीं।
intelligence is in the
गजेंद्र
head
को देखो
of
बड़ा
this
स्पष्ट
elephant.
सुंदर है, किस प्लेटफॉर्म
And
पर पहुंचा।
see what he is
ये
thinking.
अब क्या सोचने, इसका टर्निंग पॉइंट देखो आप।
What is his turning
गजेंद्र
point
ने अपने
here?
सोचा, नमाम
Now
इमे
what he
ज्ञातय आतुरम
thought,
गजा, मेरे ज्ञाति वाले लोग, मेरी ज्ञाति,
that
मेरी
my
जाति के लोग
society
मुझे बचा
or my
नहीं पाए।
people of my clan were
कुतः
unable to
करिणीय
save me,
प्रभवन्ति मोचितुम, मेरी पत्नी, मेरे बच्चे भी मुझे नहीं बचा
and my
पाएंगे।
family also were
ग्रहेण
unable to save
पाशेन
me.
दधातु वृत्तो अप्यहम च तम यामि परम परायणम। अब मुझे बचा सकता
Now
है
only
एकमात्र परमात्मा,
Lord
एकमात्र ईश्वर ही मुझे बचा सकता है।
or Supreme Personality of Godhead can save me, and nobody else can save me or protect me.
गजेंद्र अंत में सोचता है,
So Gajendra thinks finally,
बलिनः अंतकोरगात, यदि कोई उस परमात्मा की, उस भगवान की शरण ग्रहण करता,
if someone takes the shelter of the Lord,
वेग से दौड़ते हुए सर्पों
then
के समान, बड़े
the
वेग
Lord,
से दौड़ते हुए आए हुए
like
काल
a
को भी
snake,
वो भगवान
the death that
मार
is coming
सकते
near
हैं,
us, the Lord
सबरी को भी
can
भयभीत कर सकते हैं।
make,
मृत्यु जैसी
or
विपत्ति से
the Lord
एकमात्र भगवान बचा
can
सकते
make
हैं। इसलिए
the death
गजेंद्र ने सबसे नाता तोड़ दिया।
fear for its life.
बोले अब ये
So
कोई
now
काम नहीं
Gajendra
आएगा,
detached
अब
himself
एक ही
from
व्यक्ति
his
काम
family
आएगा और वो है
and
हमारा ईश्वर।
He said that only one person can save me, and that is
ऐसी बुद्धि
the
होना भी
Lord. So to
इतने
have
कार्य
this
किया था ना आदमी,
intelligence
इसलिए ऐसी सोच आई,
is
बाकी हवा विचरती
because
रहती है
he
बस।
had so much, he has performed so much charity in his life. That is why he was able to think
बुद्धि समाधाय
intellectually.
जजाप परमम जाप्य प्राक जन्मानुशिक्षितम। गजेंद्र उस समय सबसे
So at
नाता तोड़ दिया,
that time, he
बोले
detached
जीवन
himself
भर
from the
मैंने इन
family.
सब की
He thought
सेवा
that
की, मैंने
throughout my
सबका
life,
ध्यान
I have
रखा,
served
मैंने
them
इनको
all
अपने
and
लिए क्या
took
क्या
care
नहीं
of
किया,
them.
लेकिन
I
आज
have done so
जब मैं
much for
विपत्ति में
them.
फंसा हूँ
But when
तो
I am
कोई
in
मुझे
this
बचा नहीं
distress,
पा रहा है,
nobody is able
इसका
to
क्या
save
दोष?
me.
दोष
But
तो मेरा,
it is not
जिसको
their fault,
भजन
it is
करना
my
चाहिए
fault.
था, जो
I
मुझे
should have
विपत्ति से रक्षा कर सकता था,
performed devotional
उनका
service to the
भजन
Lord
किया नहीं,
of the
अब
Lord
तक
who could
नहीं
have
किया। चलो
protected me.
मरते
So
मरते तो
till
उनको
now I
पुकारो
have not done it, but at least
और
now at the
गजेंद्र
time
ने
of death, at
पुकारा।
least I should call him. And he called
हे
him.
गोविंद हे गोपाल, अब तो जीवन हारे। हे गोविंद हे गोपाल, अब तो जीवन हारे। हे गोविंद राखो शरण, अब तो जीवन हारे। हे गोविंद हे गोपाल, अब तो जीवन हारे। मानो भगवान कहे गजेंद्र क्या प्रॉब्लम है, एक्चुअल प्रॉब्लम क्या है, तब गजेंद्र
If Krishna asked that what exactly is the problem,
पीवन हेतु गयो सिंधु के किनारे। नीर पीवन हेतु गयो सिंधु के किनारे। सिंधु बीच बसत ग्राह, चरण धरी पछारे। सिंधु बीच बसत ग्राह, चरण धरी पछारे। और प्रभु चार प्रहर युद्ध भयो, लई गयो मजदारे। चार प्रहर युद्ध भयो, लई गयो मजदारे। नाक कान डूबन लागे, कृष्ण को पुकारे। नाक कान डूबन लागे, कृष्ण को पुकारे। हे गोविंद हे गोपाल, अब तो जीवन हार। द्वारिका में शब्द गयो, शोर भयो भारे। गजेंद्र के शब्द द्वारिका में पहुंचे। गजेंद्र के मुख से जो शब्द निकले, गजेंद्र की यह प्रार्थना, यह स्तुति इस ब्रह्मांड के जन लोक, महरलोक, तपलोक, सिद्ध लोक, ब्रह्म लोक को भेद कर विरजा परम व्योम को प्रार करके भगवत धाम वैकुंठ में गजेंद्र की ध्वनि पहुंची। सूरदास जी लिखते हैं, द्वारिका में शब्द गयो, शोर भयो बारे। शंख चक्र गदा पद्म, गरुड़ लई सिधारे। शंख चक्र गदा पद्म, गरुड़ लई सिधारे। हे गोविंद हे गोपाल, अब तो जीवन हारे। गज पूर्ण निराश भयो जब ही तब आर्तनाद सुनाय दियो। पनयापन नाथ बुलाय कहो कि मियावन माज विलंब कियो। गज पूर्ण निराश भयो जब ही तब आर्तनाद सुनाय दियो। पनयापन नाथ बुलाय कहो कि मियावन मांझ विलंब कियो। तब ही विनीता सुत को तज के तुरंत गजराज बचाव लियो। तब ही विनीता सुत को तज के तुरंत गजराज बचाव लियो। इस प्रकार
So in this manner, Gajendra called the Lord. His whole body was drawn, only his head was out of the water, and he called Lord Hari. And when he was about to leave his body, he called Hari, and the Lord came on Garuji, and he thought that it might not get lit. And Surdasji writes that Vinita Sut means Garuji, and he left him and he killed the crocodile with his discus, and he delivered Gajendra. So what is the most important the point I like, that when he relieved Gajendra, then he caresses Gajendra and says that please forgive me. It took me a while to help you. Didn't you had to get, were you not too much distressed? So please don't worry, everything will be fine now. I will take you to my eternal abode. And in this manner, the Lord himself came to Gajendra and he took him on his Garur to his eternal abode. Shukdev Goswami gives us a message here in the end that he was an elephant, yet he called the Lord, and still the Lord came and delivered him. We are not elephants. So when this elephant addressed the Lord and he attained the Lord, so we are in human body, and if we call the Lord, then why will we not attain the Lord? And while he was dying, he called the Lord. Although he didn't call him during his life, but all the time of death, he called the Lord and he attained the Lord. And if we chant the holy names of the Lord throughout our life and call him, then why the Lord will not deliver us or liberate us? And at the end, Gajendra called him with overwhelmed with tears, and he liberated. And if we remember or call the Lord with happiness, then why the Lord will not come and be happy? So we should also call the Lord. And during the Kartik month, Lord Hari liberated Gajendra, and in this Kartik month, it is very beneficial to listen this pastime. So we discuss the pastime of Gajendra, reading the verses as much as we could. So now let's proceed for the disappearance day of Srila Prabhupada. But before that, let's share some information about the upcoming programs.
हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। वंस अगेन बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद श्रीमान लाल गोविंद जी, क्योंकि बहुत ही सुंदर हम इस पंचम दिवस की कथा में आज इस हमारे भागवत कथा के पंचम दिवस में ये सुंदर कथा श्रवण की, जो कि हमारे इस सिलेबस का पार्ट ऑफ था, विच इज गजेंद्र मोक्ष की कथा हमने आज सुनी। और उस कथा के अंतर्गत बहुत सुंदर सुंदर बातें हमें जो श्रवण तथा स्मरण करने योग्य हैं। सर्वप्रथम तो जैसे पूज्य ने बताया कि कैसे गजेंद्र एक पशु होते हुए भी भगवान को इस प्रकार स्तुति किया, उनको स्मरण किया उस समय में। परंतु हमें मानव देह मिला है, तो मनुष्य जीवन तो वास्तव में इसीलिए प्राप्त हुआ है कि हम भगवान का भजन कर सके, उनका नाम ले सके। तो बहुत ही सुंदर यहाँ पर गजेंद्र ने भगवान को स्तुति की, प्रार्थना के द्वारा भगवान को रिझाया, और भगवान द्वारका से आते हैं और सीधे उस गजेंद्र का उद्धार किए। और उसके पूर्व हम देखते हैं कि गजेंद्र से पूर्व भगवान ने ग्राह का उद्धार किया। जैसे प्रभु जी कई बार पहले भी कथा में बता चुके हैं कि भगवान ने ग्राह को गजेंद्र से पहले ग्राह को भगवान के धाम में, अपने धाम में भेजा, उसके बाद गजेंद्र को भेजा। तो उसके पीछे का कारण प्रभु जी ने बताया था कि यदि हम शुद्ध वैष्णव या वैष्णव भक्तों का सानिध्य लेते हैं या उनके चरण पकड़ते हैं, तो निश्चित हमें भगवत धाम मिलता है। तो यहाँ पर भी ग्राह ने, जो कि वह भी एक ही वाज एंजल, जो कि उन्होंने देखा कि ये भगवान के भक्त हैं और इन्हें पकड़ने से मेरा भी उद्धार हो सकता है। तो ग्राह ने बहुत सुंदर गजेंद्र को पकड़ के रखा और भगवान ने पहले उनका उद्धार करना पड़ा, उसके बाद गजेंद्र को ले गए। तो ये सुंदर सीख है कि वैष्णव का सानिध्य शरण ग्रहण करनी चाहिए, जिससे कि हमें भी भगवान का धाम मिले। तो बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद प्रभु जी। और बहुत सुंदर इसके अंदर शिक्षा ये भी मिली कि कैसे इस गजेंद्र की कथा में जो आपने सर्वप्रथम बताया कि श्रोतुम इच्छामि वयम, जो परीक्षित महाराज सुखदेव गोस्वामी को पूछते हैं श्रोतुम इच्छामि के विषय में कि क्या है, मुझे सुनाइए, श्रवण की विषय में जिज्ञासा करते हैं। और प्रभु जी ने बहुत सुंदर बताया कि अन्न का कण और साधु का क्षण बहुत ही कीमती है, मान्य रखता है हम सब के लिए, क्योंकि दिस आर वेरी रेयर, बहुत मतलब इनकी मतलब ये रेयर चीजें हैं, साधु का एसोसिएशन मिलना। तो जब भी जीवन में साधु की संगति हो, तो उनसे सदैव यही कामना करनी चाहिए कि वह हमें हरि कथा सुनाए या फिर भगवत चिंतन मनन कराए। तो ये बहुत ही सुंदर चीज जो प्रभु जी ने आज की कथा में हमें बताया। और वयम, सबको साथ में लेकर, जैसे प्रभु जी ने बताया कि ये जो साथ में लेकर आयोजन करते हैं, उसकी अधिक महत्वता है, क्योंकि अकेले में करने से अच्छा है कि और भी भक्त इसका लाभ ले। तो यह प्रभु जी ने बताया। और साथ ही साथ अमृत चर्चा परिवार की भी महिमा इसमें प्रकट हुई कि प्राय भक्तों की इच्छा होती है कि अपने घर पर या फिर अपने लोकेशन पर आकर प्रभु जी को हम इन्वाइट करें, जिससे कि हम लिमिटेड लोग उसको सुन सके, परंतु यहाँ पर एक बृहद प्लेटफॉर्म मिलता है। अभी हम देख रहे हैं कि YouTube पे there are more than 1,000 devotees are listening at a time, which is wonderful, कि हमारे साथ साथ यहाँ पर जो हमारे 150-200 फैमिली के साथ साथ और भी 1000 भक्त लोग हमारे साथ में जुड़े हैं, जो कि केवल YouTube प्लेटफॉर्म पे हैं, फेसबुक पे इज अ डिफरेंट। तो ये एक बहुत ही सुंदर आयोजन है, जहाँ पर हम ऑनलाइन के द्वारा ही इस प्रकार हरिकथा श्रवण करें और हमारे साथ साथ अन्य और भी भक्त लाभ ले रहे हैं। So thank you so much to this host family, who understands that कि प्रचार को सीमित नहीं रखना चाहिए, उसको उसका विस्तार होना चाहिए। तो this is the only platform where we can expand ourselves, और इस प्रकार प्रभु जी की वाणी को हर एक भक्त, हर एक घर घर तक पहुंचा सकते हैं। तो once again हम धन्यवाद करते हैं हमारे देव फैमिली का कि वह इतना सुंदर मनोरथ लिए है। और अन्य जो भी भक्त हैं जिन्होंने पूर्व में और अभी भी आने वाले दिनों में बहुत सारी ऐसी कथाएं होने वाली हैं जो कि हम अमृत चर्चा प्लेटफॉर्म पे सुनेंगे। तो दे आर वाइज एंड इंटेलिजेंट, आई वुड से, क्योंकि उन्होंने ये सुंदर निर्णय लिया अपने जीवन में। थैंक यू वंस अगेन। और बहुत ही सुंदर यहाँ पर हम गजेंद्र के प्रसंग को श्रवण किए। और अभी नेक्स्ट हम श्रवण करेंगे इस डिवाइन ग्रेस श्रील अभयचरण भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की कुछ बायोग्राफी के विषय में, उनके कुछ पास टाइम्स, कुछ लीलाएं, साधु के जीवन से। भगवान कहते हैं ना कि मुझे अपने भक्त से अधिक और कोई प्रिय नहीं है। तो यदि हम भगवान के शुद्ध भक्ति की कथा भी सुनते हैं तो भगवान उससे और अधिक प्रसन्न होते हैं और उनकी कृपा में और तुरंत, क्योंकि भक्त का जीवन होता है कि वे उनके जीवन को इस प्रकार से जिए हैं, शास्त्रों के अनुसार जिए हैं और अपने जीवन में बहुत सारे उदाहरण प्रस्तुत किए हैं कि एक वैष्णव को कैसे जीवन चलाना है और कई लोगों को प्रेरित करता है। जैसे हम देखते हैं प्रभु जी अपने जीवन से कितने भक्तों को प्रेरित करते हैं इस प्रकार की चर्चा के माध्यम से। तो ऐसे ही इसीलिए कहीं ना कहीं भगवान को अपने भक्त और अधिक प्रिय है और भगवान के भक्त की कथा होती है तो भगवान और अधिक प्रसन्न होते हैं। सो दिस इज हाउ वंडरफुल दिस कृष्ण कॉन्शियसनेस इज, कि भगवान भी अपने भक्तों की कथा सुनना चाहते हैं और अपने भक्तों के द्वारा प्रेरित होते हैं। So now we'll hear the next part of our Bhagavad Katha. But before with that, हमारे ये जो यजमान परिवार है जिन्होंने बहुत सुंदर यह आयोजन किया है जिसका हम सब लाभ ले रहे हैं, तो we'll request now Sriman LalGovindDas ji to kindly lead for the second part of our Bhagavad Katha. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की। श्रील प्रभुपाद जी के विषय में
So, in regards to Srila Prabhupada, if we have to speak, what should I say? It is, we can have courage to talk about the Lord, but the person who is far more merciful even than the Lord is his exalted devotees. And Srila Prabhupada is one of them. Everybody has their own style, behavior. So some preach and they discuss and name of the of Srila Prabhupada. There is no fault in that. I usually during the preach, I don't name him that much usually, but if I have to tell you my intent and whatever we speak and we do, and the goal of our life is one and only one, that is Srila Prabhupada. We are not chasing Lord Shri Krishna. We are just running for Srila Prabhupada. So if we reach him, from there he will take us further. So whatever preaching and katha that we do is with the understanding that all these listeners and the world is able to understand the philosophy of Srila Prabhupada, and till the point they read Srila Prabhupada, even if we are not there, then through the medium of Srila Prabhupada, if not today, then tomorrow, the people of this world will be benefited.
कुछ अंदर की बात कह रहा हूं, ये हमारी अंदर की सॉफ्टवेयर चलती है कि एक्चुअल देखा जाए तो हम
And if we
भागवत का
see,
प्रचार नहीं करते हैं,
then we are not preaching about
Actually
Shrimad
देखा
Bhagavatam.
तो हम गुरु का प्रचार करते हैं।
Actually, we are preaching
भागवत
our
तो कहाँ
spiritual
की
master.
है? हमारा लक्ष्य जगत के जीवों को प्रभुपाद तक पहुंचाने का है।
Our goal is to take the people
और
of this
प्रभुपाद
world
ही
to
संसार के
Srila
जीवों
Prabhupada.
की गति मति रति करते हैं। अब मैं कहाँ से शुरू करूं,
So
कितना
from where should I start
इसके लिए
and how much
एक
should I
नहीं
discuss?
5-6 कथा हो सकती है।
So we can have
शिल प्रभुपाद
5 to
जी
6
के लिए।
kathas for this topic alone.
बचपन से ही इनका जीवन
Since his childhood,
प्रकार से मंगलमय रहा।
he had such an
इनके
auspicious
पिता
life.
का नाम गौर मोहन डे,
His father's name was Gaur Mohan De, and
बचपन से ही बंगाल
from
में
his
इनका जन्म
childhood,
हुआ।
as he was born in
भक्ति में
Bengal,
इनकी परवरिश हुई।
he was
बंगाल की अच्छी कॉलेज में इनका
raised up
एजुकेशन
in the
हुआ।
environment of devotional
अब
service
एजुकेशन
around the
की बात
devotees,
तो मानना पड़ेगा ना,
and
प्रभुपाद जी के
he
ग्रंथ इंग्लिश में लिखे
got
हैं।
educated. So he has written all
बुद्धिजीवी
his
लोगों को उसे समझने के लिए डिक्शनरी लेनी
scriptures
पड़ती है।
in English, and even
इतना जोरदार इंग्लिश शिल प्रभुपाद
educated
जी।
people have to pick up a dictionary to understand his mood
और
and
फिर अपने
meaning.
गुरु की आज्ञा से
Such powerful
कृपा
English
से
he had,
12 वर्ष
and
तक
by
वृंदावन
the
में तपस्या की।
order of his
श्रीमद्
spiritual
भागवत
master,
भगवद
he
गीता का अनुवाद किया
meditated
और फिर
and
उसके
performed
बाद
austerity for 12 years in
अमेरिका
Vrindavan, and he
और
wrote about
अमेरिका से उन्होंने
Shrimad
प्रचार
Bhagavatam
प्रारंभ किया।
and Bhagvat Gita, and he came to
अमेरिका
US
न्यूयॉर्क
for
में इस्कॉन
his
संस्था की
preaching
स्थापना
work,
की।
and he established
छोटी सी जगह
Iskcon
थी,
from a
लेकिन
very
विजन
small
बहुत बड़ा
place,
था
but
और
his
नाम
vision
उन्होंने रखा
was
था
great,
इंटरनेशनल
and
सोसाइटी
the
फॉर
name
कृष्णा
was
कॉन्शियसनेस।
International Society of Krishna
और फिर
Consciousness.
तो दिन दुगनी रात चौगुनी,
And
लाखों हजारों करोड़ों लोग जुड़ते गए।
people
और
kept
प्रभुपाद
on
जी ने 10
joining,
वर्ष की उम्र
and
में
in 10 years
100 मंदिर का निर्माण
he
किया।
established 100
ये
temples
तो मैं तो
around
कहता
the
हूँ
world.
भगवान भी ये नहीं कर सकते। आपने
I
आपने
want to say
भगवत
that
गीता
even
पढ़
the
लो,
Lord cannot
भगवान
perform
यदि
this feat.
प्रकट हो जाए
Even if he
और कहा
manifests
जाए कि
himself,
10 साल में
and he's told that in 10
100 मंदिर
short
बनाना
years
है
you have to
और
make
इतने
100
लोगों को
temples,
डिवोटी बना
and you
करके
have to
चार्ज
make so
करना
much,
है, दीक्षा
so
देनी है,
and so
सन्यास
people
बनाना है।
make devotee, and you have to give them
ભગવદ ગીતા
initiation
અંદર
and
આપણે જોયું ને
a
ભગવદ
celibate
ગીતા
life.
કીધી કેટલા ભક્ત
So
બન્યા મને કયો હાલો।
when Shri
ભગવાન ને
Krishna told
કમ પ્રયાસ
Bhagavad
કર્યા
Gita, so how many people
સ્વયં
became
ભગવાન કૃષ્ણ
devotee?
ને આમ કમ માથા નહીં
Has
મારા,
he
बहुत माथा मारा उन्होंने।
tried less? He has
धर्म
also
संस्थापनार्थाय भगवद
worked
गीता
hard.
सुनाई, घूम फिर कर अर्जुन एक डिवोटी बना।
So
बाकी
only
तो सब
Arjuna
भगवान।
turned into a devotee.
लेकिन इस साधु ने जो काम किया है,
But
नित्यकालीन
the
योग
work
में
that
भी
has
जो
been
साधुओं ने
done by this
प्रयास किया,
sage
कुछ हद
is,
तक वे सफल भी हुए,
and in the
लेकिन शिल प्रभुपाद जो सफल
medieval
हुए
period,
कोई नहीं।
so many acharyas have tried their hard and they
हाँ,
became
मैं
successful to
ये
some
भी
point,
कहूंगा कि
but
कुछ
nobody
संस्थाओं में
achieved that much
बहुत अच्छे मंदिर
as Srila
बनाए जाते
Prabhupada did.
हैं।
So in some
नाम नहीं
institutions,
लेंगे लेकिन आप
they
सब
make
जानते हैं
a great,
मंदिर बड़े बड़े होते
te-
हैं, बहुत अच्छे
magnificent
मंदिर
temples.
बनाए जाते हैं,
So they make
लेकिन
huge,
फिलोसॉफी
great
का कोई
temples,
ठिकाना नहीं,
but the philosophy
बिल्कुल
is
कोई
missing
फिलोसॉफी नहीं,
in such
कोई
temples
तत्व नहीं।
or institutions.
तो कुछ संस्था में
So, and in some
फिलोसॉफी है,
organization,
मंदिर नहीं
they
है।
have philosophy, but they don't have a temple.
कुछ जगह पर मंदिर फिलोसॉफी है, लेकिन
And
ठाकुर जी की
some,
सेवा नहीं है।
they have the
लेकिन
temple
इस
and
साधु ने
philosophy,
काम
but they don't
किया,
serve the Lord. But this
बेजोड़
sage
चैतन्य
has
महाप्रभु
done
की अटूट फिलोसॉफी,
such a great
भव्य
feat.
मंदिरों का निर्माण
He,
और ठाकुर जी
following
की
the
सेवा
principles of Chaitanya
पूरी
Mahaprabhu,
दुनिया इस्कॉन
he
वालों से सीखती है। क्या
cre-
सेवा, क्या भगवान को
created
लाना
such a
चाहते हैं। आप देखो तो
platform
सही हमारे
to
इस्कॉन
serve the
में
Lord,
भगवान
that
को
people
सर्वस्व
are
मानकर
people
उनकी
learn
सेवा
from
पूजा
the devotees of
करते हैं।
Iskcon to serve the Lord. See how
प्रभुपाद
much
जी के विषय
affection
में
they
मैं
put
क्या
in
मानता हूँ वो
the
बता
devotional
दूं।
service towards the Lord.
मेरे पास केवल 5 मिनट है, लेकिन सच कहूं पूरा मानव समाज
The whole
युग युग तक ऋणी
mankind or
रहेगा
humankind
जगत गुरु शिल
is
प्रभुपाद
indebted to Srila Prabhupada,
क्योंकि शिल प्रभुपाद जी ने मानव
because
समाज को भक्ति करने के लिए
He had given a platform for mankind to perform devotional service towards the Lord, and everything can be done only with proper planning. Even a thief, if has to rob someone, they do so much planning. So when we have to preach or expand spiritual knowledge, then we need a system for the same. And the system he has organized is beautiful and powerful. You see, through the world, if you go at the 4:30 Mangla Aarti in Iskcon Temple, and 6 to 7 you do the chanting of the Harinam and then Shringar Aarti, you will feel that as if you are in the eternal abode of the Lord, that is Goloka, whether you are in the Iskcon of US, Canada, Australia, anywhere. So he established or re-established Vrindavan in the world, and which is a great feat to perform. And Srila Prabhupada used to say that there is no difference between me and my organization. He said, Iskcon is my body. So this organization is working in an organized manner. And how to serve the Lord, how we should chant, how we should respect Vaishnavas, etc. So systematically they progress, and how to get initiated. So everything has been put together by Srila Prabhupada, and he created this organization, that is International Society of Krishna Consciousness. And what are the goals? What are the 7 purposes of Iskcon? Srila Prabhupada has written, and the first and foremost is to spread transcendental knowledge and preach that to the in the material universe. That is the first and foremost goal. So he had this desire that there should be hospital, and we should offer food to destitute, etc. But the first and foremost fundamental was to establish a process to educate people with transcendental or spiritual knowledge. So if you have so much wealth, but if you don't have knowledge, then you can lose that. If you have power and fame, and if you don't have education, then it can be a reason for your downfall. So Srila Prabhupada's education principle was very clear, that people should get education. People used to ask, what is Iskcon? He used to say that Iskcon is a preaching center. This is a place where we educate. He has emphasized so much on education, and that is the transcendental knowledge. So he didn't want it emotional, sentimentalism, but he wanted a strong philosophical transcendental knowledge. And till we get the education, the world can never prosper, be peaceful. So in the 7 purpose of Iskcon, the first and foremost is teaching or preaching. And the second is through the medium of scriptures to spread Krishna consciousness. So the first is teaching, the second is scriptures. Why? Because LalGovindDas is too, but we're not sure whether we will be tomorrow or not. But the scriptures remain there for ages and ages. So if we have scriptures, then we can emancipate ourselves. And it was the order of his spiritual master, that is Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. Because the foundation of religion is scriptures. Our Vedas, etc., are the foundation. So they should be protected. because the
ये दूसरा
foundation of religion is
ISKCON का तीसरा
scriptures,
purpose था शिल
and the
प्रभुपाद
third
जी का
purpose is
संसार के समस्त भक्तों को डिवोटी को एक प्लेटफॉर्म पर लेकर आना
to give a platform to all the devotees throughout the world. As Aminarayan Prabhuji has mentioned, that we all are from different parts of the world,
कोई यहाँ से कोई वहाँ से कुछ लोग गांव से हैं लेकिन एक
yet
भाव के एक मूड के
all who are with one mood are on the same platform. That is what Srila Prabhupada desired.
आदमी अपने समाज में होता है लेकिन
Sometimes person is in his society, but he is unable to adjust because he wants to perform devotional service, but the mood doesn't matches with others. So he wanted that all the devotees should gather so that there is an enthusiasm in the devotional service. And the fourth purpose was
चैतन्य महाप्रभु की शिक्षा के ऊपर आधारित
based on the education provided by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or philosophy presented by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, establishing a Sankirtana movement. And in Iskcon there is never any dearth of Sankirtan. And that is the principle for Kali Yuga to be followed as well. So the fifth goal is all the holy places of the Lord like Jagannath, Vrindavan, Mayapur, etc. to re-establish these places and to take everyone to these holy places through their mind, heart, soul, intelligence and wealth. This is the goal of ISKCON.
और दूसरा सभी इस्कॉन में
and
जैसे हमारे सोशल मीडिया में और भौतिक जगत में
as in our material universe we have a newspaper on a daily basis with new news and information. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada had a desire that we should have a spiritual newspaper or magazine. So we should have a updated magazine or news, and everybody should get enthusiasm and zeal to read such magazines or newspaper. And with this goal, and another goal of Srila Prabhupada was that this Bhagavad should not be performed for 7 days, but for 365 days. And the knowledge of Bhagvat Gita and Bhagvatam should be spread throughout the world for 365 days. And with this goal, he established ISKCON. So Srila Prabhupada is very glorious, but when he departed or he left his body, he left on the fifth day of the Kartik month. He was in US, he was preaching, and when he realized that this body is not going to support me anymore, so he moved towards Vrindavan and he wanted to circumambulate Vrindavan. So his doctors and disciples were refusing that you're not in a condition to circumambulate Vrindavan. But he had this desire to do or perform Braj Parikrama. And you will be shocked that on the deathbed, he was writing the books. He was speaking on Shrimad Bhagavatam. Until his last breath, he never left to give Bhagavatam to others. He always contemplated on Bhagavatam and he gave it to others till the point he left his body. So I mentioned before, during his last days, Prabhupada ji took his ring out, and he said that give it to George Harrison. That when I was struggling for in UK and I was in London, that boy has given me his whole home for the preaching. Imagine, he had so many disciples in the world and he had so many donors as well, yet, but in the last moment, he never forgot the surrender of anybody, and he remembered each and every devotee.
शिल प्रभुपाद जी कार्तिक पंचमी के दिन
So Srila Prabhupada ji left on the 5th day of Kartik, and he has, so in internet still we have the last 10 days. There is a movie about him. I am not able to see. When I start, after 5-6 minutes, I have to close it because I cannot see a sage leaving. And he has gifted us so much, and he left. And if you have the courage, you should see. And how he used to preach and do the translation even on his deathbed. Even the Lord cannot do what Jagat Purush Guru Srila Prabhupada has accomplished, and we are proud that such we are surrendered to the disciplic succession where we have Prabhupada as our Acharya, and we are a householder life, and we have relationship with such devotees of Srila Prabhupada, and we have got this opportunity to spread his mission, and by his mercy we have got an opportunity to preach. So he has showered his immense mercy on all of us, and we all should get benefit from that. So through the medium of Amrit Charcha, and the whole world is taking the benefit of the preaching of Shrimad Bhagavatam and Bhagvat Gita only by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. So we should always remember him, and we should always remember his mercy and live a Krishna conscious life. So you all have been listening with so much patience. I'm really grateful to all of you, and especially want to extend my gratitude to Nalini Dio Mataji from Australia, Melbourne. We're really thankful. And I want to thank Baldev Bhai. He sleeps at 8 o'clock, but he is awake till 11 o'clock. He is making his schedule going haywire just to listen to Bhagvatam, and so many devotees. Forgetting about your own body and mind, you're listening to the Bhagvatam because you have love towards the Lord and Bhagvatam, because you can listen to the Katha tomorrow as well. But to get it live is something very much enjoyable. So I'm really thankful to all of you because you have so much love and affection towards us. And because of that, I get an emotion to speak, and I try to do some preaching or speak by his mercy. And it is not my habit to say repeatedly call his name, but it is for sure that whatever we have is all by his mercy. So let's conclude the 5th day of this Bhagavatam Katha with Jai Jaikar.
पुराण